Y'all, y'all, y'all ready for this? Yeah. 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 Hey everyone, welcome to the show. And I'm talking about the greatest fantasy leagues in the world, the show, minor league, the combination. If you missed that video, we'll explain a little bit here in this, but we are talking about something that happened in our league. It's keeper day. It's the announcement. Every team gets to pick two keepers. But before we get into that, I want to welcome my friend Vicksdoggydaycare, with the greatest fantasy name ever, Johnny Christmas. Welcome to the show, Johnny. It's good to have you.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so John, okay, let's just talk real quick. How did you come up with Vicksdoggydaycare? Because honestly, it makes me laugh every time I think about it. So
it's my PlayStation tag. It was my Xbox tag. It got banned a few times, but once he made his return, I drafted him in the last round. And then I just figured once he actually started coming back, it actually was a reality. And yeah, it was like the perfect fit. So I'm glad it's still here.
Yeah, and I loved watching Michael Vick grow up. He was unbelievable. So I have a big question for you. I didn't even prep you for this. Lamar Jackson, who's better, or Michael Vick? Come on.
I think it's Michael Vick.
Michael
Gotta be
Vick.
Michael Vick.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's go.
But we'll see what happens here. I want Lamar to be better.
Yeah, no kidding. Okay, so like I said, we in our league, two teams drop down to minor league, two teams come up, and whoever won those two spots, and the top league has two keepers, and everyone gets to pick. And today was reveal day. Our draft is Monday, August 30th, and so we want to talk about reaction video. This is the reaction video on who kept who, and basically. Maybe we'll talk about some of the top players available in the draft, and then we'll just wrap things up from there. But it's good to be here. I hope that you really enjoy this. So let's just dive in. I don't know if the best way to do it is by team.
Yeah.
But we are so the first team. Okay, let's. I mean, we got to start with the top. Like the last place team, which was Knuckle Dragons, took the last place team, gets first pick overall. His first two keepers, I don't know, maybe we should do that in the reverse order, but this is nutso. He picked Aaron Rodgers, as he's a Packers fan, and Nyheim Hines. Johnny, give me some perspective here. What's going on?
I had to look up the running back. I didn't even know who he was. Just kidding. No, but I mean, it's tough because his team is kind of strapped. But there are some good players. You can't go with Michael Thomas, not this year. But there's a few on there I wouldn't have let go.
So who would have you taken if you had the opportunity there? Can you see that?
I would have probably taken Eckler. Yeah. And then, yeah, it's tough. I probably would have went with Josh Jacobs. Wouldn't have loved it. But
yeah, the double running backs would have been really important in this league. So now he's a Packers fan, so of course he takes Aaron Rodgers. I was really hoping to get Aaron Rodgers in the draft, but I knew once he came into the league that was a fat chance because he was going to take him way earlier than I did. And not only did he do that, he took him as one of his keepers. So just a side view, 3 quarterbacks were kept. It was Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, and Aaron Rodgers. Oh, no, 4, and Kyler Murray. So that is actually, I think that's the first time we've seen that in our leagues ever. We're encouraging people to pick quarterbacks later in drafts and draft strategy, but not here in the show. We want to get our guys. So what do you think about that draft? Sorry, he's keeping Aaron Rodgers.
I don't mind it. I think he's going to play well. the second choice, I mean, if that guy blows it up, this guy's a mastermind. He's he's got it. But I think Aaron Rodgers can have a good year still. Obviously, he's pretty consistent. But quarterbacks, like most of the quarterbacks that were kept, are mobile quarterbacks, which is only like four or five. So that's like another running back. Like that's why it was hard, because I have Lamar Jackson. But how do you let him go?
Yeah,
When he can run, he's just as powerful. But yeah, Aaron Rodgers is good still. He'll be fine.
So taking Hines there, this is the challenge I have with this pick. He's a third string running back, who was a second stringer or like split carries with Jonathan Taylor this year or last year. He actually did quite well, but now with Marlon Mack back, he's probably the third stringer. I think what happened, I'll tell you the backstory to this, but so him and I were messaging last night, and he was saying, hey, I can't figure out how to pick my players. I said, you got to be on the computer, can't use the app. So he's like, no problem, I'll do it later on tonight. I got there today, and I was like, dude, you still haven't. So I literally said to him, you've got till 1:30 p.m. to tell me your two keepers, or I'm picking your best player and a defense. And he gave me these two within 15 minutes, which I appreciate. He said he was busy, got caught up with things. I know life gets in the way of fantasy football. So I wanted to give him a little bit of grace. In my opinion, his best player and a defense would have been better what he'd taken. I think that this is actually, Hines is the worst keeper selection that we've had in the history of the show. It's just nuts that he's taken that. Now, I want to give him a little credit. I, over the years, have criticized many moves that he's done, and he's now been to the show twice.
Yeah.
I don't know what he's doing. Like, he's never been to a draft. This is going to be his first year at a draft, and he's been to the show twice. So I don't know if Yahoo rankings are really good or what. I have no idea, because I don't even think he pre-ranks.
I like the madness.
He keeps proving me wrong, John. Like, dude, I don't get it. He is the master. Like, it's like he doesn't need to be at the draft. He can manage his team well, and he wins. I don't know. So I want to just say, before I criticize him, just give him a little bit of credit here.
Yeah. No, yeah, we all have our own plans. So
absolutely. And so because of that, it's his team, it's your team, it's my team. I don't tell you what you should do. Like, if you come and ask me for advice, I can give you advice, but I don't go, hey, John, you should do this, because this is the competitive league, right? So I want to make sure that everyone, I mean, you got to know your stuff, or you're going to be sent back to the minor league. So
yeah, that's a year away. So
exactly. So okay, so let's move into Noah's pick. So he gets number 2 pick, and he goes Zeke Elliott, and Antonio Gibson. Love to hear some reaction from you on those picks.
He made the right choices with those. I mean, those are 2 strong keepers. Definitely 2 people that were on my list if they were let go. Yeah, and like with the whole Deshaun Watson situation, you can't keep him. So, and all the rest is kind of depth. So I think he made the right choice, and he's going to be strong. He's, especially with a pretty quick pick he gets too. So
he gets number 2 pick, which we'll talk about who's available after that. But what I want to ask you, last year you made the trade to get Lamar Jackson, and you gave up Zeke Elliott, and I want to ask you about that. Like, a lot of people say that's a nuts deal, but Zeke was playing terribly last year. What made you pull the trigger there? And are you still happy with that trade?
Well, I wish I couldn't have made the trade. Like, I wish I didn't, but at the time I absolutely had to, because I had Zeke hurt, I had Christian McCaffrey hurt, I had all my other players hurt, and Lamar Jackson was not showing up. So I had all these injuries, and then I was like declining. I couldn't win, and I had a rough schedule. Like, the people I was playing were just like obliterating, and I didn't want to be down in the minors, because I don't want to fight back. So I made the trade for the now, so Lamar Jackson could get me some points type thing, and that's why I made that trade, because it was just like, I need to survive. Like, and yeah, that's why I dished out. And I didn't think Deshaun Watson would hold that level of play the whole year, which he actually did pretty well, but that's why I made the trade, because Elliott was just holding me down, and I had to make it go. So
so hindsight 2020 was a great deal. You end up still staying in the show. That probably really solidified your spot there, right? So
Yeah, and I think Lamar Jackson's going to be up there this year. I think he's going to be the number one quarterback. I have
Yeah.
high expectations for him this year.
Yeah, well, he was number one quarterback 2 years ago, so that's very possible, right?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, like
No,
it's
he's a
not
little
that
more
he
power.
couldn't do it; he's already done it. So, and what do you think about Zeke this year? What do you think Zeke's going to do? Is he back? Can you feed him? Can you?
I don't know if he's back. I think he might be. He'll be okay, but I don't think he's going to be elite.
Right.
I like him because I love that risk of what he could be because his ceiling value is so high. But he just had no juice last year. Like, and it's the O line too. They didn't help.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe if that gets better, they'll start opening it up. But he just had no burst. Like he didn't have anything. I watched a lot of the Cowboys games because I was heavily thinking about trading him, and I didn't want to, but I was just watching, and it wasn't just the O line's fault. It was him. Like he just
Mm-hmm.
wasn't there.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of drops, like a lot.
Yeah. So
So
I'm finding that like people are super high on him. It's been very interesting to see. I'm with you. I'm really unsure what he's going to do. I like Gibson though. That's a good pick. So the third pick overall because making that deal got you there. So just a reminder in the way we try to keep everyone active. And so, you know, you get in the playoffs and someone's like, you get knocked out first round and then everyone just quits and doesn't care. We want people to care all the way through. So that last playoff round, even if it's consolation, matters. So you were in the toilet bowl, 7 versus 8 at the very bottom. But because you won it, you got the third pick. So because you came 7th, you get the third pick or the third pick overall. And the loser of the toilet bowl got the 4th pick. And so that's why you're there. And you went with Christian McCaffrey and Lamar Jackson. So tell me, I mean, obviously McCaffrey's a no-brainer, and you
yeah,
just told us about Lamar Jackson. That's a pretty good setup for what you're going to be picking 3. There's going to be a lot of good players at 3.
yeah, and that's the thing. Like I had a few good players that I could have kept, but I feel like with this setup, I'm set up perfectly where people are looking for a quarterback and worried about stretching or getting like someone that's not a top tier quarterback because it's a weird draft spot. Like people just start going and then you have to change your plan and choose one or else they're all gone.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, with mine it kind of sets me up so I can go pure depth now on the obvious positions and Lamar Jackson to me is yeah, like I said, I have high hopes for him and it is a nice setup. So but I need Christian McCaffrey to play the whole year. So
Yeah, yeah, and he's a super stud, right? He's number 1 on lots of boards. So
yeah, yeah.
yeah. Okay, well, so number 4 is Sherlock Mahomes, and he did something surprising. So he kept Ridley and Mahomes, but he didn't keep Saquon Barkley. And so I would love to hear your reaction to that.
I'm not thrilled about it because now it puts me in an awful position. Because now, like, if you look at the 3 picks for running backs available, you got Eckler, Barkley, and Harris. So I imagine that those will possibly be the ones taken off the board, but it's hard to say. Someone might go wide receiver because there's some very good wide receivers.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, though, is that Saquon Barkley, we know his ceiling value, but his injury makes it like it's such a high risk, high reward. But if I had Christian McCaffrey and Barkley and they played and both went off, it's game set match over. But that's the thing of will he ever be the same?
Right.
So.
And so do you think it was a smart move that he kept Ridley over and Mahomes over Barkley? Because Barkley's getting picked in the first round of every redraft.
Yeah, I would have kept Barkley. It's ride or die with him. It's the same as with Christian McCaffrey. If he goes down with an ALC injury, there's no way I'm letting him go.
Right.
I'll go to the minors with him.
Right. So who would have you taken out of those 3? Barkley and who?
I would take him Barkley and Mahomes.
Okay.
Yeah, because same thing. You get that mobile quarterback, and you can't replace that if you lose that. You can replace a wideout.
Yeah, yeah. If I was him, I would have kept Barkley and Ridley, and then picked up Mahomes at that pick at 4, because I don't think someone's going to pick a quarterback over one of those running backs there, especially. Well, he would not have known that you had Lamar being picked. But so 2 people, they're not going to pick Mahomes, I don't think.
I wouldn't have taken Mahomes in the first.
Yeah, so I think he could have got all three. Now he's going to miss out on one of those. But maybe he's like, I've talked to him. He is so concerned about the injury history, and can he come back? And right now they're saying they don't even know if he's going to play week 1.
No.
So that's a huge thing. So as much as I don't like that, as much as I would take the risk, I can understand why he did that. And so again, you got to take your own team and make your own moves. So
yeah, he's a risky player, like, but so much ceiling. Like, he can win a league or lose it for you, because you can't miss on that first shot. You need your guys to play in the first round.
Yeah. And so co-commissioner is number 4, Sheepdog, another awesome name. He went with Jonathan Taylor and Darren Waller, which I liked it because it was bold. What do you think about those picks, though? Like, do you think that he should have picked those guys? He had Jefferson and AJ Brown on his team as well. So what's your reaction to that?
I'm surprised he didn't take Jefferson or AJ Brown and Jonathan Taylor. Yeah. Jonathan Taylor's a tough one, though, because a lot of people are scared about him, and his ADP is dropping pretty quickly. But because it's so busy back there, like that backfield's so swamped. But Darren Waller, it should be interesting. They're going to heavily use him, but he's injury prone too. So, but those are good picks. But leaving Justin Jefferson's a tough one. That's for me. I like Jefferson quite a bit.
Yeah. And it's so funny because like Waller, he is like, he's considered top 3, sometimes top 2, depending on what rankings you look at. But Waller had the same catches as Kelsey, but we're not in a PPR league. We're standard scoring. So those things don't matter. But he said, I needed to get that tight end. I want to make sure, because I don't know if I'm going to get him back. And again, I would have probably taken one of the wide receivers like you, and with Taylor, and then hope that if you really like Waller that much, that you would pick him up or someone better there. So that's just my personal opinion. But
yeah, because tight ends are sitting pretty far back anyways. Like, what is he going in, like 26? Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
That's hard, yeah. Tough.
So then we move to the Vikings fan. Purple People Eaters, which is another hilarious name. He went with DK Metcalf and Kyler Murray, which I, again, surprised. Like, I didn't see this one coming, that he was going to keep Kyler Murray. I think DK Metcalf is an absolute stud. Yeah, and I was trying to trade for him all year last year. I was this close to making a trade with him. I probably offered him like 20 different deals for him, but what do you think about that?
I already had Metcalf scratched out on my draft list because I knew he was going to keep him. Kyler Murray, same thing. It's tough because I wish he kept Mixon, because I don't like Mixon on the board. Like, every time someone takes him, I'm like a sigh of relief that I didn't have to, because I took him in our other league and he was, I don't like him. But yeah, I think he made the right choices, because I think that this mobile running back thing is going to move a lot of teams this year. And I think that they're going to be a big part of this year. So yeah, I think Kyler Murray, especially, like, that Cardinals team is going to be really good. So I think I think I would have gone the running back and Metcalf, but that's just my personal preference. So he's at number 6. Golden Tate Warriors, that Christian kept my boys. My Packers, Devontae Adams, Aaron Jones. I mean, what a good start, hey? I mean, this is a solid 2. What do you think about these picks, and what do you think you should do with these guys? Because now, with the whole Aaron Rodgers last dance situation, like, does he ride and die with Devontae, or does he? I mean, I think this is a no-brainer. He had to keep these 2 guys, but what do you think he does with these guys? Yeah, I think he'll do well still. Yeah, I think everything will be fine there. He definitely made the right choices. Yeah.
But do you think Devontae Adams is going to get traded at the end of the season, or not re-sign or whatever?
Yeah, something's going to happen there. And it's hard to say where he'll end up, but he'll probably end up on a good team anyways. So I think that keeping him, I think he'll be a good player to have throughout the whole year anyways. And regardless of where he goes, someone's going to be able to throw to him. So he's talking
about going to the Raiders, where his college teammate Derek Carr is. And I'm thinking, if you go from Rodgers to Carr, you're like, I know he's the best wide receiver in the league, but I don't think you put up the same numbers, right? That's just
No.
that's just, am I out to lunch here or what?
There's not much competition there though, so I mean, he's gonna get a bulk of the passes. So
That's
regardless,
true.
it's kind of
PPR monster, right?
Yeah, as long as it doesn't go somewhere like the Bucks or something insane, because then they're so crowded.
Right.
Like you gotta wonder where these players would, if they went to the Raiders, how good they would be. Like, because they would just get all the passes because they really don't care. They just chuck them down, and he would do.
Yeah,
well.
and you're right. So, and Golden Tate Warriors won the third place over me. So he gets to pick 7. I pick at 8. So I'm Titletown. I'm the commissioner. I kept Nick Chubb and Travis Kelce. I had an option to keep your boy, DeAndre Hopkins, who he is a super stud as a wide receiver. The reason why I did that, I'll just give my reaction to this, and I'd love to hear your thoughts. I love Nick Chubb. I think he's a superstar running back. Just runs the ball with speed, with power. Obviously worried a little bit about injuries there, but I didn't have any other running back that was worthy of keeping. But I went Kelce over Hopkins, and the reason why is I knew if I let Kelce go, there's no way I was going to get him at 8. But if I let Hopkins go, I had a chance to get him at 8.
Yeah.
And so would love to hear your reasoning. Do you think I made the right choice, or do you think I should have kept Hopkins?
I think you made the right choice. It's the same thing as where you fall in the draft position. And with everybody mostly going for those elite tier 1 running backs, that will take up at least 3-4 picks before it gets to 7. So and if you don't get Hopkins, you're gonna have a replaceable option. Like there's Diggs, there's Jefferson, there's Brown now. So you're kind of gonna replace him with pretty much the same thing, even if someone takes him. So yeah, I feel like you came out pretty much unscathed, and you have a good running back, and that's where you might have your weakness though, is obviously running backs. So
yeah, it depends on there's a lot of running backs available now. So I'm kind of set up to either go stud wide receiver or get a running back there.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So number 9, who's second place, is Uncle Rico. Had an incredible team, an incredible run. Tyreek Hill and Dalvin Cook. I mean, can you start 2 better players as your keepers? I don't know. I'm huge on Tyreek Hill. I think Dalvin Cook, his speed is just next level. So I think he made the right things. Do you think he made the right call there?
Yeah, I think he'd either want to have 3 keepers in this league. I'm surprised he didn't push for it to keep Diggs. And I really think he wants Christian McCaffrey instead of Dalvin Cook because he's a little bit faster. But
I heard about that trade offer. I literally saw him tonight, and he said that he had sent you that trade offer. So why didn't you push the trigger on that deal? He's not injured as much as McCaffrey, right? Or is he?
He's gonna be. He's been in my DMs all week, but my guy's gonna be I'd take CMC all day, but they're both, golden diamonds. It's which one do you want? But yeah, I feel like they're both really good players, and it's a toss up of who gets number 1 this year. Who knows? But
I'm surprised he didn't say, I'll give you Cook and then I'll give you a better draft pick or something, just straight up. It's
his first, something like that. Yeah, maybe we'll talk then.
Yeah. So he's at 9, and then it's a snake draft, so he's going to be picking really quick again after that. But champ, Dr. Z, number 10, Mikey, he's got 2 killer keepers, and Kamara, who just won him the league. I mean, what did he get? 4 or 5 touchdowns in the championship round. Yeah. It wasn't even close.
It was 6.
Was it 6? Oh my goodness. 6, and it was Thursday night, wasn't it? It was something crazy like that.
Surprised he didn't play me.
And then Derrick Henry, who you gave up the year before, and he got the first pick. So he went from worst to first.
Yeah.
And that's an amazing run. I mean, I think his 3 keepers were just next level craziness. So
yeah, he made, obviously, it was a simple choice for him. But Derrick Henry, that hurt to let him go because I really like Derrick Henry, but I'm in the same position that what's his name here? Uncle Rico's in, where you have to leave a Diggs or you have to leave someone on the table and then you watch them explode while your guy kind of.
Yeah.
So if you see Tyreek decline and Diggs blow up, it's like, well, what do you do? Because I can keep Derrick Henry over Zeke at that age. Like,
right.
It's not possible. So, and Derrick Henry's been healthy for far too long.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to think that somewhere along the line there's going to be a break in the armor. But these are perfect picks. You can't take anybody else.
Yeah,
and
he gets the snake there, so he gets two guys, and with all these great players, it's going to be interesting to see.
He's set up pretty nice. Yeah,
totally. So let's quickly go over some of these key rounds. So I'm just going to running backs and who's available. So I'm just using Yahoo's rankings. So I'm not saying these are the picks that I think, but I'll just do the top maybe 10 players here. So Saquon Barkley is available. Dobbins, Clyde Edwards. I think it's called Eclair. I think it's how you say it. I don't know. Is it French? No, I'm just joking.
It's
Canadian content. Chris Carson, Joe Mixon, who Vix loves, obviously. Najee Harris, Eckler, Montgomery, Swift, Ronald Jones, Henderson, Mozart, Jacobs, Sanders. I mean, there's a lot of good running backs here. So I'm looking at this list going, man, if I can get one of these guys, I'm pretty stoked. Are you feeling that way, or do you kind of feel like you're like?
There's a few. I'm happy where I am, but I think once 4 or 5 of them get eaten up, I don't really want a lot of them until the depth rounds.
Right.
So to me, I mean, there are some good players in there, but there's some big question marks in there too. Like,
right.
So I mean, once these 4 or 5 get eaten up, and now that James Robinson is in that position, he kind of is up in that talk too. So,
right.
But yeah, I wouldn't want to go too deep in those rounds because then you start getting into Chris Carson's, and I don't know, you get a lot of injury bugs in a lot of these players, and they become risks. So
totally. So if we go to wide receivers, the wide receivers available, like these are super stud wide receivers in my opinion.
Yeah.
Stephon Diggs, Hopkins, AJ Brown, Jefferson, McLaurin, Godwin, Evans, Lockett, Kupp, Allen, Claypool, Allen Robinson, CeeDee Lamb. Like the list goes on and on and on. So there's a lot of good players there.
Yeah, the wide receivers are deep this year. Like there's like 20, 25 receivers on these lists that are like viable starters. So it's going to be interesting there. It's kind of a toss up to see what happens.
Yeah, totally. Okay, now let's quickly just run to tight ends, and then we'll go to quarterbacks, and we'll kind of finish up the video tonight. But really, when it comes down to, so Kelsey and Waller are kept, and that just leaves like one superstar tight end left, and that's Kittle.
Yeah.
And we know that he was injured last year, but he's superstar status. I'm wondering where he goes. Like, I don't have to worry about it because at the end of the day, he's like I got Kelsey, so I'm good. But like, how do you think he lasts that first round, or goes in the second round, or makes it to the third round of the non-keepers?
Yeah, I think it'll go second to third, maybe late second, early third, and then after that, it's like Kyle Pitts and nobody. It's like most of them, like from Mark Andrews to like even Logan Thomas, you're like just kind of tossing up and hoping. Right. So yeah, I'm not gonna myself. I won't be putting too much energy into a tight end. I'm just gonna throw the dice. And I got Gronk last year, so I had pretty good luck with that. But again, you're not gonna get much like stability with any of them. It's going to be like 12 points this week, 0 the next. It's like, unless you're Kelsey, maybe Waller if he's not injured. And who knows with Pitts, like really. And
and Hawkinson, I like Hawkinson a lot. I think he's a super talent. It's Jared Goff throwing to him, but he kind of seems to be able to keep fantasy value for tight ends. So he might be another guy that people will want to pick up there.
Yeah.
So let's move to quarterback. And even though there's 4 quarterbacks taken, that means there's like 60% of the league don't have quarterbacks. And that's interesting. So Josh Allen, Dak Prescott, Russell Wilson, Justin Herbert, Jalen Hurts, Tannehill, Brady, Stafford, These are some of the guys that are available here. What are some of the guys that kind of jump out at you on that list, and how early do you think people should be taking these guys?
It's hard because like you gotta wait till like the fifth or the sixth because there's so many other holes to fill, and if you don't fill that running back spot completely by the fifth or sixth round, like you're really stretching and hoping for an injury. So all you can really do is go for like a handcuff. But other than that, I mean, Josh Allen's a good one I want. Obviously not for myself, I'm stuck, but he's a good one. Yeah, there's tons on the list, but yeah, I think 5 or 6. And if you don't get that little elite bunch that's remaining, like you got to just kind of, I would free agent wire it basically. I would go by the week and play weak defenses because it's tough because a lot of these guys they're good, but I just feel like if you don't have one of those elite mobile running or quarterbacks, that you're just you're kind of in some trouble if you don't have like one of the big guys. So that's going to be interesting this year, and I think it'll crumble a few teams. So
my bold prediction is Josh Allen doesn't make it out of the first round, and it's not because I'm taking him.
Yeah.
But I don't think Josh Allen, and if he does, I don't think he reaches me back. No. But we'll see. I hope somebody takes him so that more of those other skilled positions get back to me. But yeah. I think there's a lot of good quarterbacks there, and I'm not taking anyone early, I don't think.
No, and that's the thing. It's all on like how your plan is and everything. Like I know I have a keeper, but I feel like he's like a running back. Like it's another running back. So that's why I like with Josh Allen, he's good. He's great. Look at the year he had, but I feel like that was the ceiling. So if your first round pick doesn't do that again, then you're paddling back. So
for sure. Yeah, man. So this is the reaction video to the show keepers. The draft is in just a few days, and we're excited. Now, what happens is once the keepers get selected, trading is open. You can trade both of your keepers, one of your keepers, or none of your keepers. You can trade for a keeper with draft picks or whatever you make. Just a reminder to our league, there is no veto trades. So every trade is open. It's your team. You do whatever you want with it. The only way I would veto a trade as the commissioner is if I just can tell there's some collusion. Is that how you say it? Yeah. And so we've seen some crazy trades, and we don't veto nothing. We just push accept. So yeah, anyways, man, this is nuts. It's going to be a great year. Vic's Doggy Daycare, special guest today. Just a reminder to all those people who have been watching the channel. We've got so much video content. I've got over 8 videos. I've still got more that I'm producing. And we got tons of fantasy football content for strategy, for different things. So if you want to know how to compete, contend, and win a championship, I encourage you to watch those videos. So thanks so much, Johnny, for showing up.
Yeah, thank you.
I love and appreciate you. I think you're an awesome guy, and I love battling against you in fantasy football. You are definitely a guy who likes to compete and contend, and you're always in it to win it. So I love that about you.
This is the year. This is my year.
There's the bold prediction right there. This is the year. Vic's Doggy Daycare. You heard it here first, guys. Also, like, comment, subscribe. I would love to connect with you guys that way. Have a great day, everyone, and welcome to the show.